Mathis from the 3. Terrence Mathis breaks it to the outside and gets out across the 35-yard line. So the Jets following, but here comes alive on a big opening play, a 33-yard kickoff return. Now let's check the starting offensive lineup for the Jets. Their blockers, Criswell, Haight, Sweeney, rookie Dwayne White, he weighs 320 pounds, and Brett Miller. The veteran Ken O'Brien at quarterback, Blair Thomas averaging 4.7 a rush start. Brad Baxter is his blocker, Burkett and Moore the wideouts, Boyer the tight end. And they go to the extra wide receiver set, the Falcon formation. Dale Dawkins comes in along with Terrence Mathis. On first down, O'Brien gets it out to Boyer, but a well-done open field tackle by Ronnie Lepet, number 42, cuts down the tight end after a gain of just 2 yards.
One thing about this New York Jet offense, very difficult to determine defensively what they're going to do next. Then they run the tight end in motion. They fake Boyer on a little slow block, and he fades out. O'Brien hits him. Lepet, excellent coverage. I still say, even though the Patriots have lost 12 straight, this is not a 1-13 defense.
Defense has played much better than that. To the run they go, and straight ahead is the fumble. Baxter, ball on the field. Patriots have it. Fred Marion, the free safety, number 31, comes up with the ball. The Jets have had great difficulty coming back from early disappointments like that one. Games have turned. Last week they led the Colts 14-3, fumbled a punt. Colts took it in, and they never came back.
You know, Don, this is not a heavy hit on Baxter. Kind of hesitates there, but watch. Do you see any real heavy contact? No. It just drugged from his hands by Marion Hobby, number 60. Ball on the ground. Patriots get the first break of the game.
Now Tommy Hobson at quarterback. Rookie from LSU, drafted in the 3rd round. Out pattern, and the connection is made. Marvin Allen out of the backfield, the fullback, makes the reception as we check the New England Patriot offense. Armstrong heading to the Pro Bowl, a terrific left tackle. Gamble, Villa, Johnson, the former New York Giant, and Vienna. John Stevens and Marvin Allen are the runners behind Hobson. Fryer and Hartley Dykes, 2 sensational talents. The wideouts, Marv Cook, the tight end. Cedric Jones will come into play as a 3rd wide receiver often. Marv Cook, the tight end, having a big year. Second down, and the Patriots need 5. And New England malfunctions. The snap count that Villa had and the one that his quarterback had weren't in the same number.
That's something that's plagued New England and, frankly, the Jets all season long. Dumb mistakes like that.
Ball start, number 13, pulling out, still second down.
Now, this happened last week against the Washington Redskins a couple of times. A bad snap. Hodgson thinks it's on 1. Everybody else thinks it's on 2. You see that little up he gives the center? That's when he thinks it's coming, but it didn't work.
They all talk about Hodgson's toughness, mentally and physically. He's not afraid. Started for 4 years at LSU. He was a high school hero in Louisiana. Started as a freshman. And second down and 10. Hodgson stands in, drills the ball, and makes the connection to Irving Fryer down to the 38-yard line. Stargill, the left corner, was covering and made the tackle. Fryer putting up his best numbers. It's his 49th catch of the year. There's the front 4 for the Jets. Stallworth, Mercereau, Dennis Bird, the leading sacker, and Jeff Lageman, whose strength is against the run. Joe Mott, Kyle Clifton having a terrific year. The leading tackler, and Troy Johnson, the backers. Stargill and Mays at the corners. Washington and McMillan, the safeties. Extra DBs and Odegaard and Hasty. Hasty's normally a starter, but he's troubled by a knee injury. And right now he's out there. So James Hasty is in to start in the Jets base defense. 3rd down and 2. Hodgson off the time, then he runs out. Dennis Bird with his 9th sack.
Good idea. Patriots put their big personnel in, but when you throw the ball on a 3rd and short, it has to be a timing pass. You're not going to have a long time, and that's something that Tommy Hodgson has to learn. He looks first to the receiver out there. Now he's thinking he's got total protection, no problem, but Bird gets him.
That's Rookie problem. It takes time to make the reads when you're not familiar, and he waited too long. And now the punt downfield by Brian Hansen. JoJo Townsell. And it's tipped in, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So the Jets will start their second possession from their 20-yard line. Jets beat the Patriots the fourth week of the season at Foxborough, 37-13. The series goes back a long way, back to 1960 when the Jets were the New York Titans and the Patriots were the Boston Patriots. Jets with a commanding lead early in that game the last time out at Foxborough, and they intercepted New England's quarterback 4 times in the game.
Yeah, Jets in that game ran for 224 yards, and Rob Moore had 175 yards on 9 catches, so there was a lot of offense by the Jets.
O'Brien throwing the ball as well as he has. His arm is in great shape again as he looks downfield. Lets the timing pattern go to Burkett, and he makes the connection at the 43-yard line. So O'Brien airs it out, a beautifully thrown ball, and Burkett turning out on the play. Catches a pass for only the 10th time this season, but it's a big one.
Yeah, the Jets use a very interesting form of pass protection. They call it Rambo. It's full run blocking. Watch how these offensive linemen fire out. Cincinnati does that. That's one of the things that Bruce brought from Cincinnati with him. 24 yards on the catch by Burkett.
Gets them the tight end in motion. They run that way. They go back to Baxter. Gives him the ball after he lost it the last time. A confidence builder, and he responds with some good yardage out close to the 50-yard line. The tackle Tim Goad knocked him down. Marion Hobby-Crump starting at right end for the injured rookie Ray Agnew.
Don, I was just going to say, smart move, I think, by Kozlow's and his coaching staff. Baxter comes up with a fumble. They come back. The first guy they give it to on a run is Baxter again. They need him in the game. This free agent's going to be a heck of a player down the line.
He's already a heck of a blocker as Coach Kozlow looks at the tendencies on his computerized printout. They go back to Baxter, and he breaks the crop and heads into the Patriots secondary, takes it inside the 40-yard line. Andre Tippett and Rod McSwain were on the stop for the Patriots, but Baxter breaks it for a first down.
Now, Don, we just saw the good play action pass fake, 11 yards. They use what is referred to as power zone blocking. The Jets guards almost take a step out and then go upfield. And that's another feature of the Bruce Kozlow's offense. When it functions, when you've got offensive linemen who are quality people, they blow the defense off the ball.
They've been pleased with the run blocking. They've got 3 runners who average close to 5 yards to carry the Jets. Here's the best one. Blair Thomas, the rookie from Penn State, down to the 30-yard line. On a 1st and 10 carry, the Jets busted open again, and Blair Thomas is very close to a first down. He got almost 10.
Missed the entire training camp, and again, watch this power zone blocking. Watch the guards. Watch the set step that they take. Now it's up to Blair Thomas to cut wherever he wants. Good wall-off block by 61 Jeff Criswell, and Thomas reads that little spot, gets up through there for a first down pickup. This is a very good scheme to run the football if you've got the offensive lineman from tackle to do it.
This big right guard, Dwayne White, moving people out. Back to the run, and again they go to Baxter on a 2nd and short carry. He's ahead for a Jet first down to the 25-yard line. Gold, the nose tackle, made the stop, but he's being blasted off the line of scrimmage by Jet center Jim Sweeney.
You mentioned White, number 67 for the New York Jets, nicknamed Road Grader.
That's right.
That's pretty impressive.
320.
There he is. Still learning how to pass protect, but no question he's an excellent run blocker.
He's been a lot heavier than that. He was on the critical list of Slenderella at one time. Got him down about 30. First down and 10, Jets. Their second possession, and they move the ball with a power gain down to the 20-yard line. Brent Williams was on the stop, the left end, 96.
Hey, here's Dwayne White, the road grader out of Alcorn. See that set step again? Gets underneath the pads of Marion Hobby 60. They call that a pancake when you put your man on his haunches, his tush, his buff. That's a pancake for the road grader.
Hey, the road grader, he can level you. Yep. very sharp on this drive after their first one was stopped on a Baxter fumble. Blair Thomas with that Penn State running game bounced to the outside, and he does, inside the 10-yard line and down to the 8. First down Jets as they drive on. Fred Marion, the free safety, kept him from going the distance.
Big misdirection play there by the New York Jets. Really caught the linebackers of the Patriots way out of position. Watch what happens. Watch the linebackers jump. You see there? And then 34 Johnny Hector reads Blair Thomas up through there. Excellent block by Hector. Marion, 10 yards down the field, has to make the tackle. Impressive drive here by the Jets.
Doing it the old-fashioned way, just pounding it out right at the Patriots. Burkett is wide left now. Watch for Rob Moore down close. Mathis goes in motion. O'Brien goes right up the middle, and Johnny Hector goes right down in.
Jets have scored first in a lot of football games this season. Scoring first for the Jets doesn't mean much to them. But watch the blocking again. See that set step? Excellent job by Mike Haight, 79, the road grader, 67. Jim Sweeney, the center. They just shoved that defensive line back. And watch the big... Look at that. He's to the 3-yard line before there is contact by the defense. I think you could score on that play, Don.
A little iffy, though. But right now we have one of the best place kickers, Pat Leahy, and he drives the extra point up and good. Another terrific year for Leahy. 26 extra points. He's hit them all. He's hit 20 of 23 field goals. And the Jets take a 7-0 lead. The Jet faithful here at Giant Stadium like what they saw, an 80-yard touchdown drive with Johnny Hector running it in. Here's Timpson. Michael Timpson from Penn State. Runs back the kickoff for New England. Whoa! Clothesline at the 18-yard line.
Did you hear that? Woo!
A big-time hit put on. John Galvin, number 52, a linebacker, came down and blasted Timpson.
He got up, too. Listen to this.
Hear that up here. Galvin, a linebacker from Boston College, in his third year with the Jets. Patriots down 7-0 with the rookie Hobson. Bird, who sacked him not long ago, tried to get there early.
False start, 74 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Chris Gamble, left guard, who's standing right next to the quarterback in the football. When he starts to rock forward,
Well, we talked to Tommy Hobson yesterday. He said the big difference quarterback in the NFL after LSU is you put a ball up to an open receiver, he might not be open when he gets there. The DBs are so fast and they close so quickly on the ball. He's got to throw it hard. John Stevens turns it upfield, not for very much, as the Jets throw him back. Outside backer Troy Johnson, 95, led the charge, along with middle linebacker Kyle Clifton. And the Jet coaches all said when we were with them, Trump, as you remember vividly, the guy we can't let get started is John Stevens.
He's one of those load ball carriers. They call them downhill ball carriers. When he gets to the line, if he gets through the line of scrimmage, people just start bouncing off of him. So you got to stop him at the line of scrimmage. Clifton and Johnson that time gave him no chance to get started. This kid is an excellent running back.
Passing down now, 2nd and 14 as Hobson takes a drop. Looking at Hartley Dyke. Now he airs it out and gets his man coming out of the backfield. Marvin Allen has it for a first down. Well done by Hodson, who looked deep. The coverage was there, so he throws a lead pass to Marvin Allen. Good for a 22-yard gain.
If there is a problem with this four-man defense, four-man front, you're going to have a lot of linebacker coverage on backside of the backfield. Now, this is zone. Clifton's looking for somebody coming out there. Marvin Allen is about the third receiver in the progression. Hodson does a good job of finding him, and they pick up the first down.
Patriots with 6:16 to go in the first quarter have a first down after that good throw by Hodson. Ready for another, an out pattern. And he gets it, completes to Zeke Moat. Is out of bounds after an 8-yard gain. And now let's go to NFL Live across the river and Bob Thompson. Bob?
All right, Don, 2 Cleveland fumbles have led immediately to 2 Pittsburgh touchdowns, each a 20-yarder. This is the second one. Bubby Brister to the rookie from Michigan, Chris Callaway. And the Steelers, very much alive in the chase for the title in the AFC Central with their record of 8-6, lead the woeful Brownies 14-0.
As we come back to Giant Stadium, 5:49 to play in the first quarter. Second down and 2 for New England. Stevens protecting the ball, didn't get there. It'll be 3rd and 1. Johnson, an outside backer, again came across and made the stop for the Jets. Big John Stevens comes in averaging 3.8 a rush, as you see. 683, that leads the Patriots. He had almost 1,200 his rookie year in 88.
Yeah, but he had an excellent, a lot better offensive line in front of him then than he does now. Several weeks ago, I asked Patrick Sullivan about player acquisitions, and he said before the season started, I've told the rest of the NFL, with the exception of Bruce Armstrong, our roster is available. They had no takers. Bruce Armstrong is the only player that they believe they can build on for the future.
Tommy Hodson has to burn a timeout.
Timeout.
Yep. Jump those backers into the gap.
That's the first
He didn't
timeout.
like what he saw, so he has to get some counsel on the sideline with 4:54 to go in the first quarter. There's his head coach, Rod Rust, with the Jets in the lead 7-0. Gentleman on the right with the coffee cup and the tan suit, that's Sam Jankovic, who had one of the best programs in the country in virtually every sport except basketball at Miami of Florida. National championship baseball, football. 3rd down and short, and they go to the money, and John Stevens is going to be close. As the linesman comes in, it looks like the mark might be in the Patriots' favor. Jeff Lageman, the big defensive end, number 56, made the stop. He's got it. First down, New England. Big John's productivity dropping somewhat over the 3 years he's been in the league. Takes a lot of hits. Upright runner. Hit back to Stevens. And he turns ahead and dives out to midfield. A gain of 6 yards on the play. Kyle Clifton, who's closing in on 1,000 career tackles, makes the stop for the Jets. Big block by Armstrong, the Pro Bowler Trump.
I don't blame the Patriots for running behind Bruce Armstrong. Here's Clifton in this 4-man front now. The linebacker has to pursue, and the closer to the line of scrimmage he can take that pursuit, the better off he is. You saw Joe Mott, 51, just get his hand on the ankle of John Stevens, trip him up. Clifton cleans up on the tackle, and that was his 1,000th. His 1,000th, say it.
1,000 for Clifton, and now they go straight ahead on a 2nd and 3 play. And Troy Johnson's on the stop for the Jets. Boys heat up. They both want this. As mentioned, certainly not a playoff preview, but everybody's being evaluated.
Lageman, his first year at defensive end. Zeke Moat, certainly used to playing in this stadium, former New York Giant. He had a big cast on his hand. He suffered the entire season with that little finger damage.
Tommy Hodson is starting his 5th straight game. Grogan started the year, then Wilson came out. He was 0-4. Now Hodson, the rookie. He's 6'2", 195, a 3rd-round pick out of LSU. On the rollout, he's very mobile. And Hodson's going to take it himself for a first down and a lot more as Tommy Hodson is inside the 30 and down to the Jet 27-yard line. Eric McMillan, the free safety, finally got to him, but it's a gain of 21 yards on the play.
This is one of the things that Hodson can bring to this offense. The ability to move. Grogan nor Wilson are very mobile quarterbacks, but he was certainly mobile at LSU, and they like his running ability. And there is no defense in the league that accounts for a running quarterback. Not even Randall Cunningham of the Philadelphia Eagles about to gain 1,000 yards as a quarterback.
Well over 800, 2 to go. Hodson's a good all-around athlete. He was an all-state basketball player in Louisiana, averaged 27 a game as a senior. John Stevens, big block from Allen, his fullback, kicking out on a backer, blasted him. Eric McMillan, the free safety, gets him, and a good block by right tackle David Vian. First down carry is good for 5. We're down to 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Pete Carroll, the Jets defensive coordinator.
We talked about Bruce Coslett, his salesmanship. Pete Carroll has to do the same thing to his defense. This is an entirely new defensive scheme. A 4-man front. Was an assistant coach under Floyd Peters up at Minnesota. So the salesmanship on both sides of the ball for the Jets continues.
He's the head defensive coach of the Vikings, and Pete Carroll is the defensive backs coach for 5 years. Dennis Byrd makes a big play from tackle as he cuts down George Adams, a former New York Giant who went to the Patriots as a Plan B free agent. Miami and Buffalo, nothing happening so far in the first quarter. Dallas and the Eagles hooking up at Veterans Stadium, 90 miles to the south. Houston at Cincinnati, very important game. The Steelers have put up yet another touchdown in the first quarter as they blast the Browns 21-0. And Tampa Bay and a Testaverde touchdown throw is up on the Bears at Chicago. Falcons got a defensive touchdown. Scott Chase ran back an interception. They lead the Rams. 11th play of the drive coming up for New England. Out pattern. Hobson was not close as he tried to get it to Zeke Moat.
Looks like we got a couple of players down on the turf here. Slow getting up. That's Damian Johnson.
Another former New York Giant who went to the Patriots as a Plan B.
Flag down.
Holding. Number 68. 10 yards. Still third down.
That's why he was down there. No, not me. Come on.
The Patriots get third down over, albeit a long third down. Now it's 3rd and 17 with 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. Jets took the lead on an 80-yard drive with Johnny Hector running right up the middle for the touchdown.
Jets now with 6 defensive backs, 4 pass rushers, and 1 linebacker.
Hobson has a lot of confidence in Hart Lee Dice, and he's at the lower right of your screen. Hobson drops, lofts the ball downfield. Rue very close to interference on Michael Mays, but there's no flag. Rule good coverage. Cedric Jones was the intended receiver.
Now this is the spread formation by the New England Patriots. And the inside receiver is Cedric Jones. Michael Mays has got his hands all over him. Certainly more than the 5-yard allowable chuck zone, but no flag. So Hanson on to punt.
JoJo Townsell waits for the punt for the Jets. And there's a marker down as the ball bounces into the end zone again. But a marker down at the line of scrimmage with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter.
I think they've got the Jets offsides here. I think somebody lined up in the neutral zone. Offsides defense, yes. Another mistake by young people trying to make an impression on Bruce Coslett.
Now they might go for the field goal. They're sending Starofsky off, their place kicker.
Offside. Number 89 defense. 5 yards. Still 4th down. He was lined up in the neutral zone.
Brings the ball to the 29-yard line.
This is Dale Dawkins. You see what Bruce Coslett was yelling?
Number 74, 96 reporting as eligible.
He was saying the punt team was almost a yard and a half off the ball. That's what our guys line up on. Give us a chance. Get them up on the ball.
So the 5 yards makes the difference now, and they go with a field goal attempt. 47-yarders. Starofsky has hit 15 of 19 field goals, as you see as long as 53. Puts it charging to that. There's another marker down. The field goal is good if it goes.
But that's going to be against the offense, so they go back 5 yards.
Well, as we mentioned,
there is no play. The left tackle on offense was lifting up. False start. 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
Okay, Starofsky. You come off. Brian Hanson, you come on.
This can go on indefinitely.
Please reset the stadium clock to 30 seconds. Thank you.
Here comes the punter. That's a critical 5 yards for the New England Patriots, isn't it?
Particularly after he just hit a 47-yard field goal. But it comes off the board, and Sarofsky goes back to the sideline, and Brian Hansen's in to punt yet again. Townsell, the deep man for the Jets. Booms it, but right into the end zone.
Good thing, no flag. So this punt will stand.
A 34-yard punt, but a net of 14 as 20 comes off on the touchback. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey back at Giant Stadium as we check the 10-minute ticker. And Troy Taylor has now come in at quarterback for the Jets, the rookie. Philadelphia's gone up on Dallas 7-0, and Brister's thrown 3 touchdown passes for the Steelers. They lead the Browns 21-0 in the first quarter. Out pattern, and Taylor makes the connection to Rob Moore, another first-year player.
Here's the situation with Troy Taylor. Last week, he was in kind of a mop-up role. Bruce Coslett told us on Friday he wanted to give Troy Taylor some quality time, and that's in the middle of the game, somewhere where there's something at stake as the quarter ends. So the backup quarterback today is Tony Eason, but he wants Taylor to get a few snaps in there, the young rookie from the University of California who calls himself the Golden Boy.
Well, we'll find out. He was a 4th-round draft choice, now in the big time.
We go back to the last play, and we have a perfect example here of what Bruce Coslett has said through the week. His footwork is bad. As you see here, Troy Taylor sets up, and this is a 3-step drop, but he takes 1 step and 2 hitches and throws it. And that's what a young quarterback has to learn, that the fundamentals of the 3-step drop are 1, 2, 3, set, throw. When you get out there in a game situation and you're not the scout team quarterback in practice, or the stunt quarterback as the Jets players call him, you lose track of what the fundamentals are. That's how far away this kid is from being a quarterback in the NFL.
Learning on the job now as he goes with a 2nd down and 4 play and hands off, and the Jets go to Blair Thomas. And he's ahead across the 30. He has a first down. Now let's go back to NFL Live. Bob?
Don, the big game of the day, of course, is in Buffalo, and the Bills have had their chances early. Watch this one. Frank Reich, subbing for the injured Jim Kelly, launches one for the normally reliable Andre Reed, hits him right in the numbers and bounces away. They didn't score on that drive. On their earlier possession, Reich had fumbled it away at the Miami 23, so it's still scoreless.
Thank you, Bob. Not Miami weather. Those winter winds start to whip into western New York. Here it's unseasonably mild. Temperature at kickoff, 64 degrees. Let's go back to that power run game on first down, and Johnny Hector, who scored the game's only touchdown, gets ahead across the 30 for a gain of just 2 yards. Richard Harvey, an inside linebacker, 58, was the tackler for New England. Patriots defensive coordinator Charlie Sumner quit a couple of weeks ago. Figured this was going nowhere, and off he went.
Yeah, so now Rod Rust is calling his own defenses.
And he'd been one of the best for years.
Long time.
Jets so far throwing a shutout. Last week, the Colts came in and scored 29 points, and they had the lowest rated offense in the NFL when they did it. Here's a swing pass to Boyer. Nice connection by the rookie Troy Taylor, but it's not for much yardage. Fred Marion made the tackle. Taylor's big, 6'4", 210. Played at Cal Berkeley, as Trump mentioned.
This is a good fake by Taylor. Can throw the ball well on the run. He broke all of Craig Morton's passing records at California. So they do like the kid. Marion again out there to make the tackle on Boyer. Didn't fool any member of the New England Patriots. So now you got a 3rd down and 7 or 8. Let's see what Taylor does here.
Well, we know the Jets want to get Rob Moore deep on Leppett, and right now Rob Moore is lined up across from Leppett.
I would not recommend a deep pattern here. This has got to be a high percentage pass for Taylor to make the completion.
From the gun, he takes a look deep. He's looking way downfield, but time runs out. He was looking for Rob Moore, and Leppett had him well covered.
Yeah.
Marion Hobby, number 60, a first-year player they like a lot. He came crashing through. They got him off the waiver wire. The Vikings had so many good defensive linemen, they had to cut Marion Hobby in the summer.
And see, another problem with rookie quarterbacks is they get locked on to a receiver. very difficult to see the rest of the receivers in the progression. And in that case, Taylor just holds onto the ball too long. See, he's only looking at one guy there, and you're right, it's Rob Moore down the field. You got to make an instantaneous decision. He's not open. Where's the next guy?
Next guy was the sacker, and now Joe Prokop punts the ball downfield. Coming up on it is Irving Fryer, and he's taken down as Joe Mott makes a big open field play. Outside linebacker Joe Mott from Iowa. And so with 12:16 to play in the first half, the Jets continue to lead 7-0. Rob, what do you think the conversation's about?
I think he's talking to the quarterback coach, Joe Daniels, upstairs, talking about the fundamentals. You know, Joe, give him something good, and also, okay, you did a good job. You got in there, got the butterflies. Now, I think O'Brien we see on the next series.
Patriots go to that quick trap, get the ball right up the middle. John Stevens takes the head. He's tackled by linebacker Joe Mott. Crowd less than on the edge of their seats at this time.
Yeah, those who are in seats. I noticed pulling into the ball yard today that normally they have a lot of touch football games out there in the parking lot. There are a lot of deep patterns open out there. No cars in the way.
The Jersey Generals were playing. Here's a quick throw by Hopkins. He gets Irving Fryer. And Irving gets across midfield down to the 49-yard line. Irving made his annual request in the last week to be traded at the end of the season. 10-yard gain, first down.
Well, they ran Stevens out in motion, which really distorted this zone coverage by the Jets. And it ends up Stargell 45 out there by himself on Irving Fryer. Now you can see Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator's choice here. He really hasn't had Hodson go deep. Throw the underneath stuff. Make him build confidence in this young man.
Fryer's a real weapon out there. Great talent. Hodson takes a look. He's going to Fryer, and he underthrows the ball, and very nearly the Jets get a pick. Tony Stargell was closing on it fast.
Well, if he throws that thing 10 yards further, Irving Fryer is gone. He knows it.
Irving, one of the great ones from Nebraska, very much like Johnny Rodgers years ago. That kind of ability as Grogan signals in the plays. Hodson told us yesterday that Grogan has really been a pillar of strength for him. He's kept his spirits up. He keeps it fun. He's got great advice. He said Grogan has just been terrific.
Grogan has done about everything you can do in a football uniform on a sideline. Called plays, signaled in plays.
Second down and a 10-yard play coming up. There's an in pattern, but it's a bit behind. Running back John Stevens coming out of the backfield.
Well, Hodson looks hurt.
Hodson has got a bad ankle at the moment.
He looks hurt. Almost the same thing that happened to Phil Simms last week and Jim Kelly. One of his own offensive linemen, I believe, got his ankle. Four-man rush. And see that pile of bodies. Looks like 75B is down there on his ankle, and he grabs it immediately. Mark Wilson is warming up on the sideline.
So a very unfortunate development for Tommy Hodson, the Patriots. He's in a lot of pain, and now Wilson is warming up. Tommy Hodson out of the game with a left ankle injury. And in the quarterback, the Patriots now is Mark Wilson, a 10-year pro, as he throws an out pattern and makes the connection to Michael Timpson, who's down to the 36-yard line. Let's watch and see what happened here to Tommy Hodson.
Hard to pick out who hit him, but you can certainly see the leg bend. When he puts his foot down, it's not his right leg, it's his left leg that sticks in the ground. It turned in, and he grabs it immediately. No report yet, except this is him coming off to the sideline. He's getting a lot of attention over there. That doesn't look good.
They now have a shoe off, and their team orthopod is checking the ankle as they go to the run to the Patriots, and John Stevens takes it inside the 35-yard line. Troy Johnson on the stop. As you can see, a graphic look at the examination of Tommy Hodson's left ankle.
Checking for breaks.
Dr. Zarens from Mass General checking him out. The great kid, this Tommy Hudson.
Yeah, the good thing is, if you look on the outside of the leg where he's looking, that's the small bone in the leg. That's not the big weight-bearing bone. So, don't know yet what it is, but he's up walking around.
That's good to see. Now, Wilson drops the throw, and as he does, markers come in. They were thrown before the snap. Bruce Armstrong might have pulled up. Left tackle.
Ball start. Number 78 offense. 5 yards. Second down.
Interesting, Drum. When you talk to the coaches on both these teams, they both had the same lament. We stop ourselves as much as the opposition does.
Absolutely. And here again, you see the Pro Bowl offensive tackle of the New England Patriots coming out of a stance early.
Kid might be getting well fast. Pitch back, Marvin Allen. And a good cutback run, and Allen takes it ahead on a second down and 12 play. He's ahead for 13 yards and a Patriot first down. Strong safety got him, Brian Washington.
Again, you see, watch what the offensive line here does. Stretch out the defensive line. Gamble, 74, a good block. Mowat, 81, a good block. And Marvin Allen cuts up behind all those for a nice pickup. First down, drive stays alive for the New England Patriots.
Marvin Allen's been getting a lot of work in the recent games. He was an 11th round draft choice 3 years ago. Missed virtually all of last season with an injury. Wilson, timing throw, fires open, touchdown Patriots.
That should be a flag on Irving Pryor. He pushed off the defensive back, big as life.
24-yard touchdown play.
Boy, did he get away with one.
Looked good up here, though. Catch.
I mean, being a former receiver, I'm on his side.
There's another marker, Trump, after the play.
That's against the Jets
marker.
Watch what happens here at the end of this. He's going to run out of frame where he should. There's the push right there. Absolutely shoves Stargell away from him, makes the catch, no flag. And then I think Stargell complains so much they're going to throw a flag on the Jets after the touchdown.
Unsportsmanlike, number 80 on New England. Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. 5 yards.
That was for the intimidation after he walked up to Stargell afterwards and yelled something at him.
Third time this year that Irving's been in the end zone. Third touchdown catch, and now Starofsky can tie the game. Wind, which is normally an immense factor late in the season here in the Meadowlands of New Jersey, not a factor at all today. On this unseasonably mild day with temperatures in the 60s. So Mark Wilson off the bench after the injury to Hodson connects for the tying touchdown.
Bottom of the screen, Irving Pryor on Stargell. Now he goes out of frame and then he'll come back in and you can see the result of the push. See that? See it? Stargell kind of goes off stride. You got to hand it to Irving Pryor. Beautifully done. You don't normally get away with that flagrant a push. And then he runs right up to Stargell and kind of sticks it in his face. And that ends up in a 15-yard penalty, so Starofsky will kick off from the 30.
Unsportsmanlike conduct demonstration on the score.
Got some woofing going on out there. Well, they're taping up Tommy Hodson. He's not gone in for x-rays. That's a good sign. Mark Wilson was only great for the two passes he was in for. 2 for 2 for 37. The second a 24-yarder for the tying touchdown. 7 all. Short kickoff, and here comes Mathis, the flyer. Looking for a channel of blockers up the middle of the field. He's taken down at the 27-yard line by Mickey Washington of the Jets, number 21, a 14-yard return. And out to quarterback the Jets, Trump, is the original starter today, Ken O'Brien.
As we expected. I think Bruce Cozza just wanted to give Troy Taylor a taste in the middle of the game, not in a mop-up situation. I think Troy understands it completely. The people who buy the tickets don't.
Johnny Hector, who scored the Jets touchdown on a 7-yard run, breaks ahead for a gain of almost 8. Mike Haight, the left guard, with a big block for the Jets. Buffalo and Miami still scoreless now in the second quarter. The Eagles got a touchdown, and then Dallas got a field goal at 7-3 Philadelphia. Houston, a sensational offense up at Cincinnati, 10-0, and Brister has thrown 4 touchdown passes already for the Steelers in their rout of the Browns. There's a tied-up Tampa Bay. Freeman McNeil's in. On second and short, McNeil gets ahead for just what he needed, a 3-yard gain for a first down.
Down in the first quarter, Jets were running wild over this New England defense. Look what they've done. They've come with a 4-man front. This is normally a 34 team, a 30 front, 3 defensive linemen. They've inserted an extra guy in there, and it looks like he's going to play the rest of the day. It's Chris Gannon who is in there as an extra defensive tackle. See, there is that 4-man front again. Now the Jets have to adjust to this, run outside or begin to throw.
Ryan 2 for 2 for 25 yards. His third attempt's going to be a long one. Burkett makes the play at the 43-yard line of New England. O'Brien with a lot of hop on his fastball still, and he drills it right down the field to Burkett on a turn-in, and it's good for a first down. A gain on the play of 19 yards.
Excellent pass protection by the Jets, and here's Burkett, former Buffalo Bill, taking a long time to really adjust. He goes inside Hurst. That's the double rotation zone where the corners go up, safeties go out. O'Brien, with plenty of time, finds him open for a completion, his third straight. This is a nice pattern.
O'Brien 3 for 3 for 44 yards. Game is tied 7-all. 6:35 to play in the first half. A dump off and an open field runner is Freeman McNeil. A Jets all-time leading rusher takes it inside the 20. And with those great moves down to the 4-yard line.
Two big blocks. Two big blocks downfield. Rob Moore got one, and Dale Dawkins got the other. McNeil is in pass protection. He's about the 4th guy in the progression, and then McNeil, who's always been an outstanding runner. But watch the blocks down the field. We should be able to pick them up. There's one right there. There's the other. 89 and 85. Dawkins and Moore do a great job. And you can see Ken O'Brien, 4 straight completions. 4 of 4.
Now they go back to Hector down close, the man who ran it in early in the game for the Jets touchdown. Hector is taken down at the 3-yard line. He can go over the top. This kid was a great long jumper at Texas A&M, was a Southwest Conference champion. Set high school records in Louisiana.
You know, Don, one of the things I noticed about the Jets, Bruce Cosby, very few hand signals to put the play in. And you see the drive chart by the New York Jets.
Hector, a 26-foot-plus long jumper. He's aligned in the backfield with Freeman McNeil on second down. O'Brien out-patterned, and Dawkins can't hold on. And Jankovic remembers Dale Dawkins well. He played for the Miami Hurricanes. Deep threat. His cousin is Darryl Dawkins, used to play for the New Jersey Nets.
Does that team produce some players in the NFL or not? Everywhere you look, there's about 3 guys from Miami Hurricanes on their roster.
Some more than that. A lot of great offensive players, and a lot of people think Erickson is the best quarterback yet. Of all those great ones that have come out. Gary Stevens, who coached in Miami, Florida, now coaches with the Dolphins. Coach's quarterback says he thinks he's the best.
Flag down.
O'Brien with markers all over, looking in a fire drill, and he throws it close to row A.
That was a late flag, but it's at the line of scrimmage, and I don't know who they're going to call this on.
Offside. Left defensive end. Half the distance to the goal. Still third down.
Brent Williams, 96. So the Jets bring it a bit closer now. Third down comes up, and they are in leaping range of Johnny Hector. If he comes out, he's out there.
Yeah, but they still have their, it appears to me their hawk personnel in, which is the 3 wide receivers. There you see Williams going over the line, and he's saying the tackle is moving. Yeah, this is the hawk personnel, 3 wide receivers.
Hector, the lone setback. O'Brien looks over the middle. Touchdown Jets. Rob Moore.
You know, you talked about the New England Patriots killing themselves. They missed 3 points on a penalty. The kick by Starofsky. They keep the drive alive for the Jets. Ends up in 7. It's happened to them all season long, and that's why the Patriots, one of the reasons why the Patriots have lost 12 straight. O'Brien again, lots of time. Moore just runs an in route against Rod McSwain. That's too easy.
Rob Moore, a sensational young player, grew up in Hempstead, Long Island, and spent most of his summer days when he had the time watching the Jets practice. Went on to Syracuse, a first-team All-State player in New York State in 3 sports. Rob Moore with his 6th touchdown reception, and this is rookie season. A 2-yard throw by Ken O'Brien, and now the kickoff. Junior Robinson runs it back for the Patriots. Protecting the ball, he gets to the 24-yard line, and then 2 markers come in. Darrell Davis, 98, was the special teams tackler for the Jets, a holding call against New England. That was a 23-yard return.
John, watch what happens on this touchdown. When Terrence Mathis comes in motion.
58, during the return, 10 yards, first down.
Watch what happens to the defensive backs. See, Lepet and McSwain switch. And then you've got a wide receiver running a pattern on a safety. That's what coaches do during the week. Design a play, a little bit of movement to get the coverage you want on the receiver you want. That time it worked for the Jets. And Mr. Moore in the end zone for the 6th time this season.
They like everything about Rob Moore. They say he's going to emerge as one of the team leaders on and off the field. Quality individual. Here is a drop now and looking deep. Mark Wilson, he's going for John Stevens. The ball tails off and John goes out of bounds, so the Patriots try to hit the big play on first down. Brian Washington, the strong safety, was covering.
You know, I got to think that any time New England puts John Stevens out as a wide receiver, a little sigh of relief for the defense. You see Hodson on the sideline. Sprained ankle is the report. They'll look at it at halftime.
And a reminder, at the end of today's broadcast, McDonald's and NBC will be announcing the Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Player of the Game. Right now, Ken O'Brien of the Jets would have a leg up on that with 5 of 6 passing. The 6th was a drop, 84 yards and a touchdown. Marvin Allen swept under by the Jets. The big plays on offense seem to have ignited the Jet defense. Last week, after they took a 14-3 lead on the Colts, the Jets saw the Colts score 26 unanswered points and win the game.
That tackle by Gerald Nichols looked like you can see him at the nose tackle. He beats the center. Villa pushes him back, and then Allen's got no place to go. Well played by the Jet defense there all along the line. You see Washington on the outside turning the play back in. Nichols able to make the tackle.
4 wide receiver set now on 3rd and 11. Wilson dumps it off. Dropped. Mosi Tupu, 13-year veteran out of Southern California, drops it over the middle, and now Hanson's going to have to punt the ball from his end zone.
You can see that Mosi Tupu is the outlet receiver, and if he catches this, it's an easy first down, but Mosi stops.
4 minutes to go in the first half. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey, where the Jets lead the Patriots 14-7. Beautifully hit ball downfield. A long spiral by Hanson, who's been to the Pro Bowl as a punter when he was with New Orleans. And it takes a Patriot roll inside the 25-yard line. 57-yard punt by Brian Hanson. So the Jets offense comes back out with Ken O'Brien pulling the trigger. Today on NFL Live, Bill Sims hasn't been told much about the length of time he'll be out. Of course, he went down a week ago Saturday against the Buffalo Bills with a foot injury. Jim Kelly expects to be back for the Bills' postseason game. And Will McDonough, the Patriots would likely use the #1 pick on Rocket Ismail of Notre Dame, and that was confirmed today by Joe Mendes, their player personnel. Virtually everybody you talk to would take the Rocket if he came out. Whoa! Long ball, Burkett. The ball's hanging. It's up for grabs, and Burkett takes it. O'Brien is down.
Ronnie Lepet, the man in coverage. They ran the same play last week. Last week it went for a touchdown. I'm sure Burkett was saying, come on, ball, get here. You see, it goes to Hector. This is all by design. Excuse me. Yeah, it is Hector. Singleton, 55, puts the hit on him. And Burkett saying that, there's Singleton hitting him along with Goad. Burkett thought that ball would never come down.
But he was there with it when it did, and now Hector runs the ball as again they power off the right side of the offensive line. Tony Easton working at quarterback. The pitching changes here today at Giant Stadium. Jets are on their third quarterback. Patriots have used two. And we're still in the first half with 2:35 to play in it, and the Jets in the lead 14-7.
I can't pick up O'Brien on the sideline. There he is. He's walking around. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. Should be all right. If he's up and walking around, he'll be back in there shortly.
We watched their offensive drills Friday. I never saw Brian throwing the ball better in his whole career, and he said his arm feels great after some off-season surgery. Here's a throw downfield to Rob Moore. Last one he caught was good for 6. This one's good for about 5. They're going to rule it complete. They are. Talked about Moore's athletic triumphs in high school, All-State in football, basketball, and track. He's a 49-foot triple jumper. He was also all Long Island in lacrosse. 14-7 Jets is the count, and there's good news as Kenny O'Brien comes back in to play quarterback after being shaken up a bit earlier. He's having one of his finest days, though. He's been sharp as he can be.
Yeah, the report on O'Brien, he just got the wind knocked out of him a little bit on the hit by Chris Singleton, but just about everything that the Jets offense has tried to do here in this first half has worked. Big plays by a lot of big people, good pass receptions. They've made the change from running the ball to throwing the ball because the Patriots have gone to that 4-man defensive front.
Well, we'll see what's coming up. It's been better than advertised, though. A 1-13 team against a 4-10 team. 2 minutes to go in the half. O'Brien 6 of 7 for 130 yards throwing the ball. He was part of that great quarterback class of '83. It's interesting. All 3 Jet quarterbacks are from Sacramento, California.
Yeah. Isn't that something? See the flag on the back of the helmet there? That's something the NFL put in this week as a tribute to those armed forces, Operation Desert Shield in the Middle East. Kind of nice. That's Jeff Criswell with his flag on the back of his helmet. They're everywhere in the NFL.
The Buffalo Bills have now taken a 7-0 lead on the Dolphins. Cincinnati's on the board, down by 4 to Houston. And you see the rest of what's transpiring. The Bills scored on a Frank Rice to James Lofton pass from 6 yards out. The Jets go to the run. Freeman McNeil. He's been a great one in his 10 seasons as a Jet, the 3rd player picked in the draft when he came out of UCLA, where he set records in the Pac-10. And he's gone on to become the Jets' all-time leading rusher.
And they call that the sprint draw. Now watch O'Brien go back to McNeil and hand it to him. And make you think like defensively like it's a rollout or something. Oh, the umpire almost gets in the middle of that tackle. Rob Moore with a decent block. Nice 10-yard pickup.
Boy, these guys tackle with their heads. You hate to see it, but they know how to do it, I guess. Fred Marion sticking it right in there to stop McNeil, but the Jets are down close again. Freeman McNeil goes in. Got the coach smiling. 9 yards for Freeman and his 5th touchdown of the season as Brad Baxter just blew apart Patriot defender.
Absolutely. No question about it. We talked about the power zone blocking on the run. Watch the guard and the center just step out there, and Baxter does just level the outside linebacker. 55 Singleton pushes him 3 yards off the ball. McNeil fights in for the touchdown.
Pat Leahy hits his 3rd extra point of the day, and with 1:10 to play in the first half, the Jets have extended their lead over New England to 21-7. So Freeman McNeil, who's going to play in all 16 games this season, if the one drawback in his terrific career has been continuing injury problems, he's still a sensation in the open field. Put a little excitement into your holiday as the NBA and NBC present a special jam session on Christmas Day. Isaiah Thomas and the world champion Pistons go against Michael Jordan and their arch rival from the Central Division, the Chicago Bulls. That's the annual Christmas Day NBA Classic, beginning at 3 o'clock Eastern Time with NBA Showtime. Hosted by Bob Costas and Pat Riley, Christmas Day NBC is the place to be.
You know, Don, we just saw a picture of Freeman McNeil, and I'm struck by the fact that he's 31, and the Jets want players his age for experience and leadership.
He's a leader. And
you see the over 30 group there for the New York Jets. They're looking for guys like that. On the other side of the field, the New England Patriots, when you're 1-12 and you look at their over 30 guys, every single one of those guys is in jeopardy. New regimes start with young players, and all those guys got to be wondering where they'll be next year.
Leahy kicks off and hits it down to the 2-yard line where Junior Robinson brings it back for the Patriots. He's out close to the 26-yard line. Before the game trial, I talked to Sam Jankovic at some length. He said, one of the first things I'm going to do in reviewing the organization is sit down and interview at length every player, and we're going to talk about everything except coaches. I want to find out about attitudes, what they think of the organization, about the league.
Yeah.
That's how you start evaluating.
You know, one of the problems is, though, Sam Jankovic is still committed to the University of Miami until after the Cotton Bowl, where the Hurricanes play. I understand he'll be in the office January 7th. I certainly hope that he tells the coaching staff what their future is going to be before January 7th.
Well, he said he's going to have, as he termed it, an extended visit with Rod Russ as soon as the season ends.
Yeah, Rod Russ told us last night. Here's the call.
Ball start. 78 offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Bruce Armstrong again. That's the second time he's done it. In our conversation with Rod Russ last night, I asked him, you know, has Sam told you when he's going to talk to you? And he said, after the season. And I said, how soon? And he said, he promised me a prompt meeting after the season. So at least if he's not going to be there, you don't have to suffer through the rest of the December and into January as to whether or not you're going to be the coach of the Patriots.
Jets get a big rush on Mark Wilson. Then he's blasted when he hits the turf. Dennis Byrd got him when he was down. There's no flag. Darrell Davis was the guy who got the running start. He had it timed up perfectly with the snap count. Quick adjustment. Look at this. He beats Armstrong.
Yeah, offside defense, and he's the guy who makes the sack. Darrell Davis, 98.
It's his 5th sack.
Bird's lucky he didn't get a penalty there.
Yeah. Good second look. Our producer for NBC Sports is Terry Ewert. Our director, Andy Rosenberg. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill, as we're down inside a minute to go in the first half. The Jets leading the Patriots 21-7. 4 wide receiver sets for New England. Wilson fires and connects to Cedric Jones, his 20th catch of the year.
Wide receiver's nightmare. Jones turns back in, and Dennis Byrd is coming, a defensive lineman, one of those fat guys coming after you.
Katupu runs it ahead. He has a first down and plenty more. And he's out to the 48-yard line. And with 32 seconds left, the Patriots stop the clock. Brian Washington was on the tackle. Getting back to what was on the NFL Live and Will McDonough's projection about Rocket Ismail. I saw the Rocket at a Notre Dame basketball game a little over a week ago, and had a chance to talk to him for about 20 minutes. He's a terrific young guy. He's really he's like a rock star when he walks into a building, the way the people flock to him. But he said, I like going to school here, and I like playing football here, and I want to stay here next year.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, one guy is not going to help the Patriots. If Rocket Ismail comes out in the draft, it at least makes other teams in the NFL want the first pick in the draft for Rocket. And the New England Patriots need more than one guy. They need several, so they can make a deal for quantity and quality as opposed to just having one guy like Rocket Ismail. But they need him in the draft to make it attractive for that first pick.
Because he's not coming out. Mendy said to me before the game, he said he could be the Jeff George of this year's draft. Junior coming out. A throw downfield, and the timing was perfect on the hit by James Hasty on Irving Fryer. No flag.
That pretty much has been the New England Patriots' luck. If they're 1-15 last year, they get Jeff George. If they're 1-15 next year, they get Rocket Ismail. They're going to be 1-15 this year, and they don't want anybody that's up there.
Now, what were they? They were like 2-14 in '82 and '81, and then they drafted number 1 in the draft that year. They picked a big defensive lineman from Texas, Kenneth Sims, who never really worked out into the greatness that was projected.
And he broke bones, but they were all his own.
Here's a throw and a breakup, but there is a marker down. There's another one. Things starting to heat up. Michael Mays came in with a pop on Cedric Jones of the Patriots.
Pryor coming out limping. At least one flag is interference on the Jets. There's Pryor coming to the sideline. Here's the call.
We have multiple penalties. Offside, defensive end. That penalty is declined. We have pass interference. Number 23 accepted. First down.
Penalty is on Michael Mays, and he was the man in coverage on Irving Pryor. Bottom of the screen. Top of the screen. He just turned his ankle. How strange is that? He just rolled over his foot out there with nobody even close to him.
25 seconds to go in the half as Wilson stands in and his receiver fell down. Had an open man, but he lost his footing. Hart Lee Dykes, number 88. What a player this is. Talking about Rob Moore's exploits in high school. This guy was first-team All-State in 3 sports, baseball, basketball, and football in Texas, and he led all 3 teams to state championships.
Oh, Hartley's making a good choice there. He's taking those gloves off. Been misting rain here in Giant Stadium, and they're worthless when they get wet.
You've not been an advocate of the gloved hand, have you, over the years?
No, not in this situation. There are times when they're good, but not in this situation.
Something could definitely catch it some years ago. Here's an out pattern now as Simpson got it on the 1 hop.
Harold Nichols with good pressure on Mark Wilson there up through the middle. 14 seconds left. Watch this ball skip. No, it skips. We didn't quite get to see it, but it skips.
You see the Patriots with 1 timeout remaining. They need another deep throw to get in field goal range for Starofsky. Wilson with the drop, lots of time, swings it out. With the ball is McMurtry, and he wisely dances downfield and gets out of bounds with 7 seconds left. This is going to be a 50-yarder from where the ball is positioned here. Do they have time, Trump, to get another throw, an out throw?
They almost have to try one more time. They need about another 7 or 8 yards because, remember, they punted from this distance in the first quarter. This is about 34 and 17, which is 51, and obviously they don't think he can make one from 51.
At halftime, we'll be going to NFL Live. The Bills have gone up in front of the Dolphins 7-0. Cincinnati trailing Houston 10-0. There's a downfield throw to an open man, and it's almost picked off. Ryan Washington, number 48, a former Nebraska Cornhusker, closed on the ball. They were going deep to Hart Lee Dykes.
Boy, a little better timing on this pass, and he might make the completion. You see the defense sitting way deep, and Washington's waiting for this pass. Odegaard 21 up underneath. Washington should make this catch, and so Starofsky is going to come on and try. Well, officially, it would be a 50-yard field goal.
Mark Wilson's the holder. Aaron's to the left. So the first half ends with the Jets in command, a 21-7 Jet lead, and some sensational passing by Ken O'Brien. Coach Kozlitz's team looking to break a 5-game losing streak, and of course the Patriots have been on a slide for 12 straight games. Jets 21, New England 7, and we'll be back after this.
Okay, we welcome those of you watching the Patriots play the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bills. Bob Costas along with Will McDonough, and shortly we'll check with O.J. Simpson, who's along the sidelines at Rich Stadium. First, though, to the scoreboard. In the game most of you are watching, Buffalo with the halftime lead, 7-0. Reich, a 7-yard touchdown pass to James Lofton. Each team had scoring opportunities. Pete Stoyanovich missed a 28-yard field goal from Miami, only his third miss of the season. Reich fumbled the ball at the Miami 23 in the first quarter. Andre Reed had an apparent touchdown reception bounced right off his chest later in that period, so it's just 7-0 in favor of Buffalo with their record of 12-2 over the 11-3 Dolphins. Dallas is playing in Philadelphia. Troy Aikman separated his right shoulder, replaced by Babe Laufenberg. This is important for Dallas. 4-game winning streak, record of 7-7. They've got a crack at that last wild card. Philadelphia is assured a wild card. The Redskins' defeat in miraculous fashion last night, as Indianapolis caught them at the wire at the Hoosier Dome, has really helped Philadelphia's prospects. If they can win their last 2 games, they'd be assured of home field against Washington in that first-round wild card game. Houston and Cincinnati. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from that one. The last time the Oilers visited Riverfront Stadium, they were blasted 61-7. Here's Warren Moon coming off that great performance a week ago in Kansas City, and he gets busy right away, tossing this 21-yarder to Hayward Jeffries, puts the Oilers up 10-0. But Cincinnati comes back, and James Brooks had a big first half. Here he takes the handoff, turns the corner, and gains 44 yards before he's knocked out of bounds at the 3. He didn't get in, but Ickey Woods would just a few plays later. In he goes, powering through people. They missed the extra point. It was 10-6. And then later, it's Brooks again. Over 100 yards rushing for him in the first half alone. This one, a 56-yard touchdown. Throw in a couple of field goals, one for each team. And here's your score as they come up on halftime tied at 13 apiece. Cleveland is playing in Pittsburgh. You cannot overstate how bad the Cleveland Browns are. They have lost 5 fumbles in the first half. Jim Schaffner, the interim coach, watching things go from bad to worse. Each of the first 3 snaps in the game, they lost the ball on fumbles. This is Mike Pagel filling in for the injured Bernie Kosar. Pittsburgh gets it. Bubby Brister immediately capitalizes. He rolls right. He heaves it into the end zone for the touchdown to Mike Mularkey. We're not talking about the first 3 possessions. We're talking about the first 3 snaps. Cleveland loses the ball. Eric Metcalf, who had 2 fumbles in the first half, loses this one. Pittsburgh is all over it. Chris Callaway then will catch a touchdown pass. The 4th-round draft choice, rookie out of Michigan, makes the inside move, gone for the touchdown. Brister threw 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Mularkey, 1 to Callaway, another to Merrill Hodge. Here's yet another fumble. Kevin Mack is the culprit here, and Pittsburgh comes up with it, so 3 straight times they had the ball in the first quarter at the 20 or closer. Brister with 4 TD passes all told in the first half. Then Warren Williams had a 1-yard touchdown run. It was only a year ago that Cleveland, early in the season, beat the Steelers 51-0. 35-0 Pittsburgh in this one. Steelers will win the AFC Central with this apparent victory if they can beat the Houston Oilers on the final weekend of the regular season, a big if. Chicago, with their record of 10-4, but they've lost 2 in a row, with the lead at home, 14-7. They've gone to halftime at Soldier Field. Mike Tomczak for Jim Harbaugh. Tomczak with a 1-yard touchdown run and an 18-yard TD pass to Wendell Davis. Atlanta trying to snap a 7-game losing streak, leading at home over the Rams, 20-10. New England has lost 12 in a row. They're playing the Jets, who have lost 5 straight. Jets lead at home, the game some of you are watching. Halftime in the Meadowlands, 21-7. Willie?
Well, I think in Buffalo, Bob, the story really so far is Thurman Thomas. You know, he's rushed for almost 6 yards to carry. The thing that separates the 2 teams is the Bills have been able to control the ball a little bit on the ground and take some of the pressure off of Frank Reich, where on the Miami side, Marino has almost had to be the whole show.
All right, we're going to go to the sidelines right now in Buffalo, and we'll go to O.J. Simpson. Juice, your thoughts on this first half?
Well, it's been a great first half. You know, I want to comment on something Marv Albert said earlier. You know, there was a big fight between Bruce Smith and the tight end McCullough. But, you know, those things happen. It was an emotional week leading up to an emotional game, and they had a little altercation. I think it's to the credit of the Bills that nobody will talk about it. They said it didn't happen. I think that's because of they're sensitive to the old bickering Bill title. They don't want to go back to that reputation. But in the first half, running up into the tunnel with Frank Reich, he says everything is working. We can do everything. Thurman Thomas says, I want the ball. We can run on these guys all day. And Mark Clayton says he feels great. As I said, Marino was very happy that Mark Clayton was able to play after 5 weeks, and he's been going to him, I think, 5 times in the first half for big yardage.
Okay, O.J., we'll check with you later in the day, and we'll be sending things back very shortly to Buffalo or to the Meadowlands, depending upon which game you're watching for the second half. But halftime here on NBC will...
21-7, the halftime count. The New York Jets leading the New England Patriots here at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy on a day when we've seen 5 quarterbacks play. 3 for the New York Jets. O'Brien has been sensational. Tommy Hodson, the rookie from LSU, started for New England, but his was a short story, out with an injury.
Yeah, he's back on the field and he's limping, but he had a simple pass play, had all the pressure from up front. Watch his left ankle. Everybody falls on that left ankle, and the minute it's hit, he comes up grabbing it. The diagnosis initially was a sprained left ankle. They looked at it at halftime. Mark Wilson came in after that, but Hodson has a brace on that ankle coming out of the locker room for the second half. It doesn't look like he'll play.
The Jets have had a lot of early success this season. In fact, they've led at halftime 10 times counting today, and as you know, they come in 4-10 at the day's outset. They had some big plays, though, in this first half, building their 14-point lead, and we'll check them out now as O'Brien was really hitting the numbers.
Yeah, I think one of the things you got to look at in the first half is just how successful the Jets were. Just about anything they wanted to do. They started the game with lots of running, and then when the New England Patriots came with the 4-man rush, then they started to throw the ball, and the New England Patriots touchdown I thought was a pretty play, although illegal. Irving Fryer pushes off of Tony Stargell. He's at the bottom of the screen. When he goes out of frame, just as he comes back in, you can see the result of the push. The flag is not thrown, but that's the 7 points that the Patriots have on the board. And then on the ensuing drive by the New York Jets, Freeman McNeil had a very nice run, and you can see the big... this is the catch by Rob Moore. Now, this was the final touchdown of the first half for the New York Jets, so they lead 21-7. Excellent job by the Jets offense.
And the Jets during the week did an unusual thing. They practiced halftime. They've had so many problems when they've come out after halftime that they actually... What all did they do, Trump?
Wednesday, they went out and they went through their personal period. They warmed up and everything, spent about 35 minutes on the field, went in, took off their pads, then came out and went through team drill.
Now the kickoff comes downfield. Marvin Allen runs it back, and he is stonewalled by big Marvin Washington, number 97 for the Jets.
Washington, the former basketball player, he looks like he's banged up a little bit.
A check of the halftime numbers. Jets. It's interesting that when we met with Bruce Coslet, Trump, he said he thinks the team that wins time of possession is going to win the game. Well, that's about even, and the game is not.
Yeah. I like the rushing yards there by the Jets. Most of that came in the first part of the football game, and then the Patriots came with the 4-man front.
They both came in wanting to run the ball. Mark Wilson opens at quarterback now for the Patriots. He came in, he was hot early, hit his first 2 throws, the second for 24 yards and a touchdown. You saw Irving Fryer. Whoop, missed connection, but John Stevens makes something good out of it. He gets ahead for some yardage after he was stopped in his own backfield. McMillan and Washington, the safeties, came up.
The one thing about this 4-10 New York Jet football team is that a lot of the comments around the franchise, and other people you talk to, they're 4-10. They haven't won in 6 weeks. They've got a 5-game losing streak, but they've still got that enthusiasm. And last year at this time, these guys had their bags packed, ready to get out of here. So most people around the franchise feel very positive about Pete Carroll's defense and also Bruce Coslet's offense.
There's no question. There's a completely different attitude on the Jets. You can sense it the minute you walk into their practice facility. It's a very up organization. John Stevens runs the ball. I think what you pointed out, Trump, about these Patriot veterans, guys are wondering where they're going to be next year. Like Hodson told us last night, he said, I expect to be here because I'm a rookie. But he said a lot of our veterans are really wondering what the future holds.
I think Steve Grogan may be one of the exceptions. Somehow you include him if he wants. Somehow you include him in your coaching staff or something with all the years he's contributed to the New England Patriots. The rest of them, no telling.
3rd down and 2 coming up. People moving, flags go up. Zeke Moat might have left early.
Boy, how many times have we seen that? Armstrong's done it twice. Gamble did it, or Damian Johnson did it once. Now Mowat. Well, you start out first and 15 every time. You're not going to succeed.
Rod Ruff was the defensive coordinator for the last 12 years in the NFL, the previous 5 at New England.
This is the 10th penalty against the New England Patriots.
Jet played the game 21-7.
Number 81, 5 yards, still third down.
Now, that's just totally a lack of concentration. When you lose 12 straight, you can understand that, but I mean, those are the details that coaches, you can't coach.
Well, if you can't get the playoff, you can't play. Can't get down the field, misfiring at the snap, and that's been a continuing problem. Early in the third quarter, Wilson might be going deep soon. Here's a 3rd down and 6 play coming up. He's not going anywhere. He looked deep, but the rush was there as Dennis Berg gets his 2nd sack of the day, his 10th of the season.
John, the rest of this game may get real ugly. Very ugly. I mean, there's all these guys from the Patriots are out here showing their new boss what they can do, but you can easily be distracted and begin to think about the off season.
Ryan Hampton, who's punted well all day, booms another one downfield. Downs out after backpedaling, takes the ball back across the 40 and out to the 45-yard line. Markers again.
Oh, I don't know what it is about these flags on kicks, but once the ball leaves the punter's foot or the kicker's foot, all 7 officials are looking for something illegal. They have no specific assignment. They can watch all 22 players on the field. You can't get away with anything.
There is no penalty on the play. No penalty.
Except there. That's the
A non-penalty despite the markers on the field. Tonight it's an NBC News special, First Person with Maria Shriver, featuring the story of Southern California quarterback Todd Marinovich. Every move regarding his young life was made with one goal in mind, for him to grow up to be a star quarterback, a project engineered by his father, Marv. Todd Marinovich, the one they call Robo QB, designed by Dad to win tonight on NBC News special, First Person with Maria Shriver. Brad Baxter, and the ball is out to the 47-yard line. Gain of almost 8 yards on the play.
Well, the way the New York Jets can win this football game is just continue to pound it at the line of scrimmage. The line is doing a great job, even though the Patriots that time had a 4-man front. Baxter wants to die by Lepet. Baxter is not touched for almost 8 yards on that pickup. That's to this point in the game, so you can see they're going to come close to what they run per game today.
Out pattern, a nicely caught ball by Boyer, the tight end, and Mark Boyer is ahead for another Jet first down inside the New England 35-yard line. Interesting development at Cincinnati. Houston 13, Cincinnati 13.
Motion by Boyer, quick drop by Ken O'Brien. 12-yard pickup. He catches it on the 3rd time. Andre Tippett, 56 with Lepet. At this point in this game, Patriots players are protecting against injury.
There Thomas goes in motion on first down on the give. Right up the middle to the power back, Brad Baxter, and he's down close to the 30-yard line. The Jets left guard, Mike Haight, has been blocking well. He's from Dyersville, Iowa, number 79. That's where they film Field of Dreams.
Is that close to Ottumwa?
It could be.
That's where Radar is from, you know? Radar O'Reilly. Got another injury on the field here for the New England Patriots. Who's got his head down there? That's Singleton. He's been hobbled the last several weeks.
The lack of success by these two teams was reflected in the Pro Bowl vote. No Jet made it. One Patriot did, Armstrong. And here is a standout rookie linebacker. He's back home, Chris Singleton, who was the 8th player picked in the first round of the last draft. He's from nearby Parsippany, New Jersey. He and his twin brother play at the University of Arizona.
Oh boy, this is the last thing you want as a player. Watch the right-hand side of your screen, see if we can pick up what happens. Looked like the weight on his left leg, and one of the offensive linemen looked like Criswell, 61, just rolled up it. No one wants to, at the end of a disastrous season, face surgery or a long mending injury on top of all the indignation that you've had to go through in a season where you're 1-12. 1-13, excuse me.
Yeah. Second down and 6 comes up. Hand off to Blair Thomas. A dancer, and he is inside the 25-yard line. Blair Thomas has the potential for greatness in the NFL when no less than Joe Paterno calls him the best running back I've ever had at Penn State.
Now Ed Williams gets up limping.
Consider some of the others he's had, like Franco Harris and Kurt Warner.
There's a sprint draw again, and you see again people falling all over guys' legs, and that time Ed Williams gets his knee strained, and Ilya Juraschuk comes in. Is that close enough, Juraschuk?
That's close enough. Ilya Juraschuk. Now the Jets work again with first down. 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. Boyer in motion. And O'Brien with a quick, deep drop. A good open throw. And downfield into the 5-yard line is Doug Wellsand. Number 86. They don't go to him often. He appreciates it. That's just his third catch of the year.
That smile on his face. That's a 22-yard pickup, and he was so excited he couldn't get in the end zone. You can't get this open. Not even with your football in your backyard can you get this wide open. Hello, Patriots, and he trips over his own foot. Give me another chance, he says. Give me another chance. I'll get in the end zone.
Very successful farmer in the state of Washington in the offseason. Grain farmer. Handoff and down to the 2-yard line, but not in. They go to Baxter, the 230-pound power back from Alabama State. He was on the Jets developmental squad at last season.
This guy has the potential to be just an earth-shaking player in this game.
He's a knockout blocker. You saw Singleton go off with the injury a little bit ago. In the first meeting in the 4th week of the season, Singleton came on a blitz. Baxter picked it up and knocked him out cold. Second down and goal for the Jets. Blair Thomas cutting back, and a good defensive play by Andre Tippett. The 5-time Pro Bowler, and Sean Smith, 97, was also on the play. Big Andre Tippett, an all-pro player from nearby Newark, New Jersey.
The belly series, some teams call it the gut, and there was good penetration that time by Sean Smith up through there. Basically, Baxter had very few places to run. O'Brien, to this point, 8 of 9, 163 yards passing.
Jets well aware that the Patriots give up a lot of rushing touchdowns. And they go to the run, down close, and that's Freeman McNeil down to the goal line. Did he go in? No signal yet. Got to peel off some bodies. Apparently he's about a foot short.
You got to go for it, though. You got to treat this game as a homecoming game. So you go for it on 4th and inches. And I don't mean to be too cruel, but the New England Patriots are certainly a homecoming opponent.
And a good sign. Singleton is back and ready to play. He started to run out, then they called him off, but he's ready to go again. Vincent Brown was just set in. He's an enforcer as an inside backer, a run stopper. 4th down. Less than a yard to go for the Jets. McNeil. He's in.
Well, this is a nice Christmas present for Bruce Coslet and the Jets. Now McNeil has still got that quickness. That wasn't an easy touchdown. He had to make a move to get in the end zone. Another big block by Brad Baxter. We'll show it to you after the kick, but it was a dandy.
7:05 to go in the third quarter, and Pat Leahy's on the field. By his fourth extra point, Criswell might have moved. Pat Leahy started the season as the NFL's oldest player, 39 years old. Then he got young again when Indianapolis picked up quarterback Joe Ferguson, who was 40. Now Leahy said, "I'm old again. Ferguson's been cut."
And, I asked him at practice the other day, you still kick as much as you used to? And he said yes, about 50 balls a day.
17 years.
Center of the offensive line, 5 yards.
Now Leahy set to work after the penalty mark-off, and he drills it through. He's been perfect all season and almost perfect on field goals. He's at 20 of 23 field goals.
Pushing and shoving.
We got some boys starting up. There was a fight in the stands that was quickly extinguished, and now it spills over onto the field.
Kind of unusual to get in a fight on an extra point.
These Patriots, they've got to be in very ill humor en route to a 13th loss in a row.
Yeah, it's like a season of root canal.
They're professionals.
There's no end to the pain. There's no end to the discomfort. That's Mickey Washington and Lagerman.
The extra point is good. Number 21 and number 56 are disqualified. Number 21, New England. 56, New York.
That's an overmatch. Mickey Washington's about 180 pounds. Lagerman is 6'6", 265. So the Jets up 28-7. They'll kick off in a moment.
No matter where you look, there's Mazda. We're introducing new products like the Miata, setting new sales records, winning the respect of the automotive press, and winning awards for both quality and customer satisfaction. But most important, we're making thousands of people feel just right.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be.
We look great with hair. Do something to save it.
And the man he could become.
Can't do except nature like everyone else.
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work, and the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature. We want hair.
When you've considered the arguments,
We might look great bald.
and you decide you want hair, there's only one thing to do. See your doctor. Or call this number for more information. Wouldn't it be great if
you were centering facing the great Garbanzo in the wrestling match of the year? And wouldn't it be great if the sponsor was a beer? A really great beer like Keystone, the fresh cold filtered beer in a can that tastes like beer in a bottle because of Keystone's specially lined can. And wouldn't it be great if Garbanzo excused himself and you left with his manager, the lovely Darlene? Cold filtered Keystone and Keystone Light, bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. By Reebok. By the Upjohn Company. If you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor. And by cold filtered Keystone and Keystone Light. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
Back to live action as Junior Robinson runs back to kickoff for New England and gets out to the 22-yard line. We have 2 player ejections. There's Jeff Lagerman. He's been thrown out, starting defensive end, and Washington, a defensive back. Mickey Washington is out for New England.
And Lagerman will be on his Harley Davidson in about 25 minutes, headed for home, rain or not. Now watch this touchdown, and watch the block of Brad Baxter, number 30. He misses the first guy, Tippett, but the force of going through there knocks Jaraschuk off, and you see the nice little move by Freeman McNeil to get in. Boy, that's a great combination, those two.
Now Wilson throws an out pattern, and Simpson can't get back to an underthrown ball. 6:52 to go, third quarter. The Jets en route to ending a 5-game losing streak with a 28-7 lead.
And we saw Lageman leaving the field after being ejected. And here goes Mickey Washington to an early shower.
Jets have done a very good job defending tight end Marv Cook, who has 45 catches. Cook running a pattern at the top of your screen, and they go on a slant in, and it's incomplete. As we now look at the Hurt 10-minute ticker. Buffalo has extended its lead over the Dolphins to 14-0 in the third quarter. As Bob Costas pointed out, Troy Aikman went out of the game with a separated shoulder at Philadelphia, so the Dallas Cowboys are working with a backup. The second Buffalo touchdown was right to Andre Reed, and now we're told that Miami has just scored. Miami's just hit on a big pass play. Marino to Mark Duper, 50 yards, so it's, at the moment, 14-7 Buffalo. Bears have come back from a 7-0 deficit, and they lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14-7. They're talking some trash out there. Graphic detail.
There's Marvin Washington, helmet off on the sideline. Yeah, this never was Sunday school between those stripes, you know.
So Marvin Washington's attended to, and the Patriots will punt when we come back. Good news to report, Marvin Washington's up and okay. As Hansen hits another long punt downfield for New England. Townsend eludes the first wave of tacklers and sprints ahead to the 32, and markers come in again. The score's out of hand. Jets 28, Patriots 7, but the game is heating up. We got a lot of people talking out there, Trumpy.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you're winning. That's when you're more than happy to talk trash.
Next Saturday, it's a special afternoon of great NFL action on NBC, beginning at noon Eastern Time with NFL Live.
Illegal block, number 57, by the receiver, starting to return, 1st and 10.
O.J. Simpson will be going one-on-one with Bears head coach Mike Ditka, and then it's game time as Mike Singletary and the tough defense of the NFC Central champion Chicago Bears goes against Kansas City. An interconference clash from historic Soldier Field in Chicago. That's all next Saturday at noon Eastern Time on NBC. O'Brien on a waggle, they call it, a sprint out. Finds his man, Johnny Hector, running in the open field, and he's across the 45-yard line. Now let's go to the aforementioned NFL Live. Bob?
All right, Don. After the Bills had gone up 14-0, Dan Marino gets the Dolphins back in the game. He hits Mark Duper with this 30-yarder. He juggles it and then backpedals in, making the catch. And Buffalo's lead is halved. They're up by only a touchdown now in the third quarter, 14-7.
And, of course, if the Bills win that, they are AFC Eastern champions. They also have the home field in the playoffs against any and all AFC playoff opponents. Blair Thomas gets to the 45-yard line. I once asked Joe Paterno about the philosophy of his running game. He said it's all based on the great back bouncing to the outside.
Well, Blair Thomas can certainly do that. Franco Harris could certainly do that. Lydell Mitchell could certainly do that. It takes an awful lot of foot speed to do that, and Blair Thomas does it and does it well. Now, if this kid would have been there throughout training camp, he'd be more a part of the offense, but he just knows the base offense, and that's why you don't see him in there on passing downs very much.
Missed the entire training camp in a contract holdout as O'Brien airs one out, and coming back at the ball beautifully is Rob Moore.
Now the Patriots are slow to a walk here.
You know, some scouts have checked out Rob Moore, called him the best wide receiver prospect they'd ever seen.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about the Jets is their receivers are big. Soon and Burkett and Moore are great big receivers. You see, it's a nice 16-yard reception there. You look at Houston, and their receivers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But in this offense, big receivers, I think, are a big help.
Rob Moore played at Syracuse, but he was recruited by Syracuse basketball before the football came after him. Baxter with the run, and nose tackle Tim Goad, a run stopper, makes the play for New England.
Have we called his name before? Not a lot. But when the running game works, the nose tackle's getting clean. And I think that's the first time we've called his name today.
And what was it the Jet coaches were telling us, that he has a tendency to go into an upright stance to try to play the run, and Sweeney is an excellent center, the Jet center.
Tim Goad, I thought last year had a sensational year. This year, he's been very, very average, and his technique is horrible.
Reverse, and here comes Rob Moore as O'Brien got a good block. Rob Moore takes it down to the 25-yard line, and the penalty marker's in again. Doug Wellsant, one of the tight ends, had another big block for the Jets.
Maurice Hurst finally on the tackle. Just about anything the Jets want to call here is going to work. Face mask on the tackle.
Maurice Hurst is one of the players.
Side of the helmet opening, the 5-yard penalty. Number 37 defense tacked on to the end of the play. Still second down.
O'Brien stick his shoulder in there.
Just got in their way. That's the approach most quarterbacks take. Yeah, there's grabbing a hold of the side of the helmet. That's illegal too, not just the face mask.
And Maurice Hurst is one of the Patriot players who grades out very high this year, a second-year cornerback. 4 interceptions, second and short for the Jets. Baxter. And he's down to the 17-yard line. First down, New York Jets, with 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. You see the scoreboard on the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Houston has now gone in front of Cincinnati 20-13. Cleveland getting hammered at Pittsburgh. Chicago extends its lead over Tampa Bay, and Atlanta holding to a 7-point edge over the Rams. As speculation continues that John Robinson won't be Rams coach next season.
That's unbelievable.
If he's not, he won't be out of work long.
That's unbelievable. That might be a Marty Schottenheimer type firing.
Baxter. All day long, just getting a lot of power from the right side. Number 72, Brett Miller. And the man you Trump called the road grader, Dwayne White.
Richard Harvey then on the tackle about 7 yards down the field. Again, that drop step. Firing out. You see the road grader does an excellent job. 67 just shoving everybody back. And Harvey makes the tackle, but it's way downfield. Road grader's got
he's wide, but he's not fat.
He's got a bucket on him, though, doesn't he?
John Imus talks about that obese police you have to call out of some of these big guys, but he doesn't need that. Here's Blair Thomas taking it down close to the 5-yard line, and it looks like a first down. Roland James makes the stop.
Troy Taylor warming up, leading 28-7. Obviously, if the Jets score again here, fans are going to get a big dose of Troy Taylor.
Trump, you were on a expansion team. I think Kozla was there at the time with you with the Cincinnati Bengals. The expansion team that got to the playoffs faster than any expansion team. You were there in about 2 years, weren't you? 3 years. I want to ask you when we get a chance, what turned the corner? Because right now, New England's an expansion team. O'Brien goes to Thomas, and he steps in. Marker down.
Holding defense.
Holding. 59. Defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Fulbright scholars are out. At least it's in the 60s.
Again, O'Brien has tons of time here. He's looking all over the place and is about to run in when he sees McNeil. That's not the way it's designed. Excuse me, I said O'Neal. I mean Blair Thomas, his NFL first touchdown, 6 yards and a score.
That late Leahy, good as always, and the Jets continue the rout as they are now up 35-7 with 58 seconds to play in the third quarter. And the Jets kick off once again when we come back. Chris Singleton, rookie linebacker for the Patriots, apparently finished for the day. He was hurt earlier. Then he ran back in, and they called him back out. And apparently must have re-injured the ankle in the short time he was back. Junior Robinson, who's having a career day running back kickoff, at least in number, if not distance, gets it across the 20 to the 22-yard line. For John Galvin, a standout special teamer, number 52 is down for the Jets. Mark Wilson has no options now but to start airing it out deep to try to get back in it. Mark Wilson takes a look on first down, and again he skips the ball in low. He's throwing under duress. The heat is on as he was going to Hartley Dykes. The tight end we were talking about, Marv Cook, but they've only gotten the ball to once, is I guess the leading reception leader for AFC tight ends. He comes from West Branch, Iowa. He says he's the second most famous person to come from there. The most famous was the late and perhaps not great President of the United States, Herbert Hoover. Be kind now. As a throw downfield goes to Hartley Dykes for a first down. Or Hubert Heber, as he was once introduced to the National Convention.
And nobody knew the difference.
Wilson with the hurry-up passing game buys some time. He's running out of it. He gets the ball away to Cedric Jones to the 43-yard line. Well, Michael Mays quickly makes the tackle, number 23. And that's going to be close to it for 3 quarters of play. So the Jets, who had a 21-7 halftime lead, have extended that margin now to 35-7 after 3 quarters of play. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey back at Giant Stadium. We're ready now for the start of the fourth quarter. The Patriots with the ball, but in a deep hole as they are down 35-7 to the New York Jets. Wilson, loses the handle. Live ball.
Man, Darrell Davis ran right over Bruce Armstrong. I mean, a bull rush right between the 7 and 8 of Bruce Armstrong puts him right in the chest of Mark Wilson. Goodness. There's Davis. That had to absolutely shock Bruce Armstrong. You're going to see it right in front of. Watch this. Boom! Blows Armstrong right back on his heels. Davis is there for the sack. Goodness gracious.
One of the best tackles in the league. Bruce Armstrong headed for the Pro Bowl. Davis, a 12th round draft choice.
He did it again.
Markers down. This is something you build with.
Yeah, he did it again. Bird and Davis combined on the sack, but
Bull rush, huh?
I mean, that's how bad it's gotten for the New England Patriots. Their best player is now playing to the level of his teammates.
Holding, number 70, offense. Penalty is declined.
The other tackle, David Vian, number 70. Trump, we were talking before. You were on an expansion team at Cincinnati that went to the playoffs 3 years after it was founded. What's the key to turning it around?
In our case, it was 2 draft choices. Bill Bergey, middle linebacker. Greg Cook, quarterback. Those 2 picks turned it around for us. They both came in the same year, 1969. And we were just a fundamental football team. We didn't do anything fancy.
As Hansen punts again downfield to Townsell. And he's out to the 46-yard line. So you really had the cornerstone on both offense and defense.
Yes, and the other thing we did, and I think to see Troy Taylor coming in at quarterback, the other thing we did is that we had 20 guys in a week that we tried out. There's no plan B back then, and we just brought a whole bunch of people in to try to find out if anybody could play.
And you found some good guys.
We found some good players.
We're back at Giant Stadium where Kenny O'Brien really reflects the level of play the Jets have had today. They've been standout all day long, and they lead the game 35-7. But for those of you in New York, we're going to be switching away shortly to bring you the conclusion of the Buffalo-Miami game. Jets lead here 35-7, and they run the ball. Johnny Hector takes it away out to the 50-yard line. Now let's check out the Dolphins and the Bills as we go to Rich Stadium to Marv Albert and Paul McGuire.